What's going on, y'all? Brandon Lori, Ugly Duckin' Brewing. Got us another one. Brewer has sent us another subscription kit. What month are we in? June.
Yes.
This is June's subscription kit. So, shall we see?
Yes, we shall. Sharp knife.
You know, I had to sharpen it. I haven't been bringing the fancy knife out lately, so. All right, so here, we got things. All right, so we have our bottle opener.
We have a box in a box.
All right, we have garden hoe. Perfect plant after a hard day's work. Garden hoe is an ode to the historic and refreshing Belgian wit. Classic wheat is expertly tilled into a traditional Pilsner malt bill and modest ground hop. Yeah, there are a lot of things in here.
A lot of things going on in
Coriander and bitter orange peel offer a slight tart and citrusy undertones to quench even the most parched palate. So they sent us a thing of PBW.
Nice.
It's kind of cool of them. We have our Safale BW20, which is a dry yeast, obviously. And our can of Fast Prime. Kind of wondering what this is. We'll get to this. We have our double bagged bag of grain. This is heavy, whatever this is.
Okay. Well, here.
Let's open this up real quick.
Holy moly.
We have Briess Bavarian Wheat Dried Malt Extract. Briess Pilsner Light Dried Malt Extract. Briess Pilsner Light Dried Malt Extract. Briess Bavarian Wheat Dried Malt Extract. Some coriander seeds.
Orange peel.
Some orange peel. Some Saaz hot pellets. And some more Saaz hot pellets.
The instructions. Need some fingernails?
Yes, please.
Here you go.
So they sent us 2 kits.
One beer, 2 ways.
An all extract kit.
I want to see what's in here.
It's
okay. Orange peel.
Coriander seed. Saaz and Saaz.
Yes.
And that should be 5.5 pounds of Weyermann Pilsner and 4 3/4 pounds of flaked wheat. That's it.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah, all grain. Okay. So
Interesting.
apparently Northern Brewer decided to send us an all grain kit, which we're used to brewing.
With all of the stuff.
And they sent me a complete extract kit.
This will be new.
Including everything it takes to brew it in extract form. So I'll tell you what.
We're going to have to do a side-by-side.
For Northern Brewer, I'm going to contact them to make sure they didn't mess up. But I'm thinking they want us to do a side-by-side comparison, all grain versus extract. We'll do 2 kegs of it because this is enough to do 10 gallons. And final result, we'll compare them side-by-side. Which is better, all grain or all extract?
Question is, do we do a blind?
While Mark the Kegs gets someone that is impartial to it, pours the beers, and we test them side by side, see if we can tell the difference between an all grain brew and an all extract brew. This is going to be a good one. Thank you to Northern Brewer. Apparently hooked us up with an all extract kit as a bonus.
Never
That's
done that
cool.
before.
I wondered why this package was so heavy.
So heavy.
So yeah, I'll be contacting them to thank them and see exactly what they had going on here. Make sure they didn't mess up, and I owe them some money. But we're apparently going to do an all grain versus all extract brew, and do a blind test on both of them.
Stay tuned.
All right, y'all. We'll see y'all over there when this stuff's getting brewed.
Welcome to Ugly Duckin' Brewery. This is Brandon. I'm Lance. We got a different one for you here today. We're going to do things slightly a little bit different.
A little bit.
Stick around and find out. As you can see, we've got a couple more things on the table here. Today we're going to do something a little different, like I mentioned at the beginning. We're going to technically brew 2 beers.
2 beers,
and
one
then
day.
And then compare them. kind of like a blind taste test, right?
Yes, indeed.
What we got here, Brendan? What we got going on?
So, Northern Brewer, hook your boys up. We are all grain brewers. We have always done it all grain. But we know people that do all extract. We've never done all extract. So Northern Brewer decided, hey guys, we're going to send you an all grain kit for your subscription of the month and an all extract kit. So this is going to be a really interesting side by side, and we would definitely do a blind at the end, see if we can tell the difference between the two of them.
Right. So blind/learn.
Right, exactly. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if I can just like make beer Kool-Aid and sorry for anyone that does extracts, I'm actually really excited to try this. This is gonna be fun.
Give it a shot. I mean,
It's gonna be fun.
we're part of a beer club, and I've heard both sides of it. I've heard you can't tell the difference. I've heard you can. Technically, this is.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's DME. It's dry malt extract. So it's technically just dried powdered wort. So
this is what we're going to do, though. We're going to brew both of them today because we want to keep them fair. We want the timelines to be the same. We don't want one to sit and lager in a keg longer than the other. So we're going to brew both today. We'll put them in throughout the video.
Yep.
We're going to let them ferment at the same temperatures.
Yep.
And we are going to let them ferment the same amount of time.
yes.
When one's done, the other's done.
Yes.
We're not going to cheat any. We're not going to allow any extra time. And then we're going to compare numbers. We'll get our original gravity, our final gravity. And then once all that's said and done, blind test.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we'll see who can pick what, see how good our palates are, or even if there is actual difference.
It'd be really interesting to see, for sure.
So what are we brewing today, Brendan?
It's a wit beer, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Yeah, no, sorry, it's a Belgian ale. It's not a wit beer, it's a Belgian ale.
Okay.
You want to tell them what's in the all grain kit there?
Go for it.
Okay,
I was just trying to figure out the name here. Is that
Garden Hoe. Garden Hoe.
Are you supposed to stress the aces there too?
Sure. So the grain bill we're gonna have on that one is 5.5 pounds of Wireman Pilsner and 4 3/4 pounds of flaked wheat. Yeah, that's about as simple of a Belgian wit style beer as it comes. Ounce of Saaz at 60, ounce of Saaz at 15, bittering orange peel and coriander. There's the orange peel, there's the coriander, there's everything. And we're using a Safale yeast today. It's going to be Safale BW20. Any of y'all want to know. Now, over on this side, we have our DMEs. So we have 4 pounds of wheat DME, 4 pounds of Pilsner DME, and then the exact same thing. Ounce of Saaz, ounce of bittering orange peel, ounce of coriander seed. And as y'all saw from the Kveik video that I did not too long back, we'll be using the Big Mouth Bubbler for the DME one, and we'll use the temperature control fermenter for this one. But we're going to make sure that the temperature in this one is maintaining the ambient room temperature just like this will be.
Yeah, so we're not gonna put the glycol system on it,
Right.
and we're also going to shield
Yes.
the big mouth, I think is what you call
Yeah,
it.
Big Mouth Bubbler.
We're gonna cover it up with a blanket so it's not light struck or anything else, and we're gonna make sure it stays just, kind of somewhat insulated like this fermented tank
Right.
is. So the only difference will be is one will be in plastic, one will be in stainless steel, but I don't see the plastic hurting.
No, I don't think so either.
The only other thing we debated on a little bit, just because of our style of taste to beer, we were going to take out some of the coriander, but we're going to follow the recipe.
We'll follow the recipe.
Just
Yeah.
because of what they sent us. So
Right.
Just to let y'all guys know, I mean, we've talked about that in other videos, so I just wanted to
Yeah, coriander is definitely to taste. Some people like the Belgians have more coriander, some like less. We're on that like less side. But, I mean, they sent it with an ounce for each one, so we're going to do an ounce with each one.
So sit back, drink a beer, and watch us brew.
We'll be right back.
All right, as you can see, we didn't show it, but I was about to say the mill is grained.
The milk is grained.
That would not be right. The grain is milled.
Yep.
So what's our next step here?
Mashing.
Mash in. All right.
I will pour and you will stir. We're going to do 152 degrees for 60 minutes on the mash.
Okay. Sounds good. Let's go. All right. So there you go. We got it all poured in. We're going to go ahead and let this, how long does this sit for, Brandon? What are we mashing for here?
We're doing 152 degrees for 60 minutes.
Okay.
and we are set up, ready to go. We're going to let this rest for like 5 minutes. While it's resting, I'm going to go ahead and put the dispersion plate in.
And as y'all know, because we just said it 100 times, in case you're new to the channel, we're stirring the grain as we pour it to stop any dough balls. We want to break up the grain as much as possible, just so we, think of it as like a flour. If you don't get all the water on the flour, there's balls of dry flour that doesn't turn into bread. It's the same theory here. We get it all wet and saturated with water. That way we're pulling sugar from all the grain, and our efficiency goes up.
Like we said before, you pay for that grain, use it.
Yep.
Go ahead and get that on there. What you lost?
I was looking for the but you got it right there.
For that. Okay, you want to go ahead and...
All right, there you go. We got this circulating. We're going to let this sit for how long again?
60 minutes.
60 minutes. So now we're going to go ahead and cut over to the extract. No, we're not, because there's none. Catch you on a bit. All right, there you go. So now they've caught us, or they've seen us mash in for the all grain. So now we're going to go ahead and move over to the extract. So go ahead and stay here, and I'll get us ready to go.
I had to mill this down so fine. So fine.
So there you go. This is the, I guess, the difference / benefit of doing extract compared to all grain. So we're technically ahead of the game right now, whereas we're still mashing in here. We have our, we're holding temperature. We're extracting our sugars, basically to get to this step.
Get to that step, yep.
We are currently, extract is winning the race right now.
By an hour.
By an hour. So we are up ahead an hour on extract. Technically, you could say more than that because we didn't have to mill, we didn't have to prep, we didn't have to heat water. So
I'm kind of mad right now.
So if it's a competition, +1 to extract right now.
+1 to extract. Wait, we're keeping track? I got a whiteboard somewhere. We can start writing, writing points down.
We'll see. We'll measure. That's a good idea while we're sitting here. See, we just came up with a new one. We'll measure the difference in taste, and then we'll measure which one's easier, faster, or better to do.
And we can look it up, but cost efficient.
Cost efficient, yeah. Because electricity used. Which, let's be honest, in electrical world, it's way cheaper brewing than in the gas world.
Oh, absolutely.
I've learned that even on our barrel system. Once we went from gas to electric with elements, like the amount of propane on that barrel was killing us. Like we were going through.
The amount of propane just on the Hummer out there is killing us.
Yeah, but we get what, 2 brews out of Hummer?
2 brews out of 1 tank. Yep.
We were barely getting one on the.
Barely getting one. We always had a backup.
Yeah. So there you go. So right now, +1 extract. We'll catch y'all back here when we're ready to sparge.
What? Yes.
You get ready to sparge?
Yes.
This is almost done. We're about to start our sparging process, but we figured we'd show one of our little local breweries around here. I've seen on YouTube a good bit of people from around the country reviewing Ghost in the Machine. So these are some beers that I don't think you can really get except for around here. I think you have to go to the brewery or local.
You do. This is actually one of the variants that got released to some stores around here, which is very odd for Andrew. Normally he doesn't do that.
Right. So he makes Ghost in the Machine, which I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of, or most of you should have heard of. It's a pretty good beer.
Yeah, Parish Brewing.
He's made some alterations and put some out, and you can see here he's got really good artwork with it, which we find really, really cool. And there you go, it's beeping. And this one's called Infinite Ghost. And you can see right here, it's a nice hazy IPA.
Very hazy. So good.
I would call it a double hazy IPA though. It's up there in content and it's hoppy. It's pretty good.
Very hoppy.
It's not like a Juicifer or anything like that. It's higher end, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. It's 8.6% ABV, I believe. 8%. 8% even.
So there you go. So if you happen to run into it, check it out. It's a really good beer. So this is beeping. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next step.
Circle around here.
And I tend to hit wrong buttons, so I'm going to let him turn the pump off. Last time I turned it all off.
Now you got me looking at my own system to make sure I'm flipping the right button.
Sideways, right?
Yes.
Horizontal's off?
Yes.
All right. It is off.
I say, and keep in mind that there's normally some Spillage doesn't come. You can just stick it right there.
Ooh, it's leaking.
That's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
All right. That is so hot. Okay. I give myself a raise. One foot on the table, bro. That's how we do.
I'll demote you later.
You know. Hey, you only get out how much you pay me, right? So
There you go. No refunds. So y'all seen this a million times already. There's little aluminum arms in here we showed you guys with some little notches. You basically just pull it out, set it on the little rings. That's you rotate it to get it once you get past the rings,
to get them locked.
and then it sits there and it's sitting on the rings now. So the liquid is actually draining out of the grain into the pot.
And what I'm going to do is, while that's draining, because it's going to take 10 minutes for it to drain, I'm going to go ahead and get this ready to go and heating up for the boil. We're going to do a 60-minute boil on this also. We have quite a few boil additions going in on this too, including a 60-minute drop of an ounce of sods. So, as it is with these electric systems, we try to get as much time savings as we can by getting things started.
Absolutely. So while he's plugging that in, you can see here we have a tank missing. He just racked the beer today, so we had to clean it real quick to get it ready again. And hey, that's what you call efficient brewing. Get one beer out the fermenter, you brewing the next one and moving it in. We actually, by the time you guys see this, you have already seen we've had a large pause in brewing because of life happening.
Good life though. I've already spoken of baseball.
Baseball and other things, personal issues that we had. But anyway, we're back at it. We have videos that are going to start coming out a lot more. Y'all going to already see them by the time this one's out. But anyway, this is being cleaned and sanitized. This is already sanitized. And y'all know why.
Drain for 10 minutes, and then we'll sparge over with our gallon of sparge water. That's 167 degrees. And not quite done with this yet.
Yep. So, all right, there you go. There's the all grain. Now we're going to go ahead and we'll switch over to the extract. All right, and we're back. Now we're going to jump into there you go. We're going to jump into the extract part now because, like we said, we're going to keep these videos side by side. We'll kind of get them rolling together. So if y'all remember right, we just pulled this up. We're letting it drain out the grain into the water, which we're about to sparge. And now we're going to start the process of extract. Wait a minute. We're good. Y'all seen the powder? We're ready to roll. So, again, one up for extract.
Literally shaved an hour off.
Awesome. One up for extract. We've done nothing yet for it. We've literally unboxed it and put it on the table.
And it will probably both finish at the exact same time.
You know what? Maybe we should start extract brewing. Nah. All right. All right. Here we go. We are back on the all grain again.
All grain again.
All right. This is moving on pretty good, I would say, for
an
a
all
full
grain
brew. Well, actually, we're doing 2 brews at once.
Right.
I mean, we're actually got 2 brews moving within a couple hours. It's pretty good. I don't think we've ever done that.
No.
Steven. So now we're up to sparge.
Sparge.
Got his hose right here. That's hooked to his pump. That's hooked to the sparge tank.
Right.
So where does this go?
Over the top. Yeah.
Oh.
Something like that.
Hold on.
I'm not that.
Hold my
fancy.
beer.
Hold your beer. I'm gonna go ahead.
I'm gonna get the raise this time. And we're just gonna. And everyone's seen this already. Whoa. All we're gonna do is
try to climb my corporate ladder.
all we're gonna do is circle around just to make sure we're getting all the grain. Is all we're gonna do here. So here we go. Pump, pump, pump.
That's fancy, huh?
I'll say this is a lot better than
Then holding that hot pot and trying to pour it over. I thought the same thing. I'm like, I have an extra pump. Why not just account for the line loss, and
I can control where I pour it too. What if I put it in the hole in the middle?
yeah, don't do that. It just goes straight down to the pot. I will say this is a whole lot easier with 2 people.
That means you're done. So again, we're gonna let this trickle down for about 10 minutes again.
Yes.
And then, but while that's going on, we're going to regroup and then set up for the extracts.
Yes.
All right. So
And we'll talk y'all through that in a minute.
we'll be right back. We're on the extract side of it
Yes.
now. Okay. So we got sparge water going on. Now we're going to move into sparge, actually sparging with extract. Ready to go?
Sure. Let's do it.
Done. All right. So that makes +3 now, right, Brandon?
+3.
3 up on extract.
Damn it.
All grain 0. So man, we're really losing this fight here. But anyway, we'll be back here soon.
Malt pipe is no longer up here. We are now currently getting set up with the boil. It's rising in temperature.
184.
Getting ready to getting close.
Getting close. All right, so you say we're at ball, when we get to ball, right? This is what we're in our process to now. We're
Yes.
on all grain and we're getting to boil.
Getting to boil right now.
Okay.
It's going to be a 60-minute boil.
Okay.
At 60 minutes, we have an ounce of Saz hops going in this. Okay. And then with 15 minutes left to go in the boil, we're going to drop another ounce of Saz.
Okay.
And then with 5 minutes left to go in the boil, we're going to drop an ounce of the bitter orange peel.
Okay.
And an ounce of coriander.
All right. So there you go. So now we're in the boil of the all grain.
Of the all grain. Yes.
Once we get there, there's the drops Brandon just laid out, and I'll say even in the all grain, it's pretty easy for the ball.
Absolutely.
Sit there and watch. All right. So we will be back, and we'll talk about the extract when we start getting to it.
Yep.
Now we're on extract. Hey, why did I do this? What is this? You know, it's one of those snap things maybe. I wish it worked that way in brewing, but
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
So now on the extract, you heard Brandon talk about the all grain. It's pretty much the same process, but different. So I guess that's a not a true statement. So what we're going to do here, Brandon mentioned we're at boil. You know, obviously all of our water, liquid slash wort that we pulled from our grain is already in here. On the extract, we're going to be a little bit different here. So we're only coming in with 2.5 gallons of water.
Yes.
Where we're going to get it to a boil. Once we get to a boil, we're going to then drop in our DME.
Yes. One of the DMEs.
One of the DMEs.
Let's see. We're learning this together. You know, the 4 pounds of wheat get dropped in at 60 minutes on the boil.
Okay, then when does the rest go?
So, and then we're also going to, once that's stirred in and incorporated,
Okay.
get it back up to a boil. That'll be our 60-minute mark. We're going to drop in an ounce of sauce, just like we did here. And then with 15 minutes left to go, we'll start in the Pilsner DME.
So then we'll follow that up with the
With
orange peel,
another ounce of sauce.
another ounce of sauce, and
Yes.
then we'll go
5 minutes
5
left. Orange peel, coriander.
orange peel and coriander.
Exact same as the.
So that's here with
All
our
right.
they're not called extracts. What would that be? That would be additions.
Additions,
Sorry.
inclusions.
Inclusions. So there you go. So it's slightly different. We're going to drop in the wheat early at 60 minutes, and the pills only goes in
At
15 minutes left.
Yep.
Which that's very interesting.
It is. It's kind of.
So it
It may give us a different flavor doing it like that. Not sure.
you know what? So we're at the ball now. We've been rating. I'm going to go ahead and give the all grain a +1 here.
Yeah.
Because we don't have to sit here and add DME multiple times or split our wort up.
Right.
We're doing it. So we're at 3-1 now. So as you can see here too, we actually have 2 pots going on. We're actually going to finish these exact same time.
Exact same
So
time.
when I tell you these 2 processes are following each other to the T, they will be exact. So this will be a true test to see which one, if any, tastes better or the same.
All the extracts starts taking us an hour less, though.
And is winning currently in the score 3-1. So.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll be back once we hit the 60-minute mark, because at that point we have to drop hops here.
Right.
Then we have the 60-minute mark here. We'll drop some DME and some hops.
Yes.
Okay.
We have officially started boiling on the all grain.
212.
Going to be a 60-minute boil, and we have an ounce of Saz hops going in at 60 minutes.
May I?
You may, sir. I'm going to go ahead and take the paddle in the house spider. The house spider.
Oh, yeah,
I know how you are. Mister, I'm going to excite this boil kettle. And me, kind of like with the grain, utilize all the oils. Saz is a very good smelling German hop. I really like Saz hops.
It is. So there you go. This is the all grain again. We just did our first 60-minute drop. We're about to head over to the extract, and we'll show you the exact same process plus some DME. Tell you that later when we get there. But while we're here again, we're just going to show you guys again. Look, Louisiana for a while was behind the game on craft beer. I'll say that. I was one of the biggest ones ever. I started home brewing many years ago. Louisiana was bad. And we've currently picked up some really good brewers that have been here for years now. You know, they're not new. Parish is the one we just showed you with Ghost.
Right.
Gnarly Barley is the next one right here, which is Jucifer. I don't know how readily available. It sounded really bad.
It's getting pretty big.
It is.
Because I don't know. I mean, have we seen Jucifer outside of the state? I think we have.
Yes, we have.
I mean, and especially like the Corova Porter, we found that quite. Actually, it's Corova Porter that turned us on to
that one.
barley.
I hate to say it, but I think that one's actually more available than Jucifer
It might
in most
be.
places.
It might
Just
be
because it's a dark beer that people tend to go to over an IPA. Which, look, this is an IPA. It's a hazy IPA. It's really laid back. I almost consider this like a pale ale. But a great beer if you guys ever have a chance to pick it up. I mean, you can see it here. It's really good.
I'll be the first one to say if you want to introduce someone to the craft beer scene, and you especially want to introduce them to an IPA, this is probably one of the safest bets to go with.
Yeah. So if you're wondering too why we're drinking commercial beers right now, it's because we haven't brewed in a while and we are out of beer. We hence 2 beers at once / clean the fermenter out, brew another, and we're on a roll. We're actually about to brew another duck in the pond.
On the barrel.
On the barrel. We're not going to film that because you guys already seen it, but you know, it is what it is. We've been slacking. We had baseball, everything else. Life happens. It's time to catch up.
But it is getting into the colder months. It is brewing season, people.
Season. I think it's still at some point on our radar. I know you said you wanted to do another Witch's Broom.
Another Witch's Broom.
But we will do a sports beer here in the near future as well, which will be a triple decoction. So you guys can see that.
Hey, good thing we have multiple pots.
We're also going to do a bunch of reviews soon on all of our equipment that we have. Because we've had all of our equipment now for at least a year.
At least a year.
So now we really have input on all of our equipment. So stay tuned. We're about to jump over to the extract. We'll be back here in a jiffy.
Yep. See you soon.
All right. So now we're at the extract.
Extract.
All right. So we got the wheat's only going in now. We're at 60 minutes. Well, not technically 60 minutes. We're going to drop this in, let it come back to a boil. That'll hit our 60 minute, which will then we'll drop our hops. So just a FYI, and this isn't because I've done an extract before. It's because my starters used to be with DME. The trick to this is not letting the steam from the pot hit the bag because then it'll get stuck in the bag and then it's fun. So here we go.
Stir, and when you think you've stirred enough, stir more.
Some more. So here we go. We're going to bring this over. I will give you, sir, the paddle.
Oh my God, that is so hot.
Little first little.
Don't you love it when DME's in a vacuum sealed bag? Like what masochist decided it's going to go pith? No, I'm not done with you. He got to boil and said, I'm done.
All right, bag one, here we go. Let's see if I can follow my own advice and stay away from the steam. And so I had to pour a little fast there, and I know Brandon was working the paddle to try not to get the stick, but you can see here, for the most part, I got it. That little bit on the side's not going to hurt anything. Sorry, Brandon.
I understand why they said take it off the fire when you do this. Hey, let's brew 2 beers at the same time.
Fun.
Overboil on the all grain, overboil on the DME. Let's go.
All right, so there's bag one. I'm going to let him stir that in just a little bit more before I start pouring, just because I had to pour it fast. I'm going to get this one ready while he's doing that. And I don't know if y'all noticed what I did a while ago, but like Brendan said, a vacuum sealed bag, which they have to do, I understand. But I just cut a little hole just to let air in, and there you can see it drops down.
I'm gonna be honest with you. This is
cut.
such cheating.
It really is.
Dude, it's cheating.
It is cheating.
I have a pot of wort right here. What? It took me 60 minutes to make that over there.
That it did. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Good?
Yep. Starting to think I should have used the whisk instead of the paddle. Now you can show them what happens when steam hits a bag. Right there in the corner. Well, yeah, all right there.
Yep. So you can see right there we got a little bit of it, but still out of all that, that's not too bad. I've seen worse.
A whole lot worse.
So we'll let Brandon finish stirring that up, and then
So in case y'all are wondering, they tell you bring it up to a boil, then take it off the fire before adding your DME, which we didn't do. And I quickly turned the fire off, well, the electricity off under this, because as soon as the DME hit the boiling water, it started wanting to boil over.
Right.
It's like adding hops. It just gets...
Yeah, and this does the same thing. I mean, when this gets, we obviously don't have this closed. We're letting the vapor come out, but we do keep it half covered just to keep its
Help with
temperature.
heat. I mean, yeah, we're in a
Because it
climate,
is,
we're in a air conditioned room right now, so
Right.
it kind of...
And it's a 110 unit. It is what it is. The elements just can't keep up as well as the 220. So there we go. So now we are officially same spot as this. They're both at a pretty much a ball now.
Is that a boil? No, it's not a boil.
I'll say this: we were grading earlier, where we had to fight the grain a little bit to mill and do the sparge and everything else. We definitely, the points were at extract because we didn't even start yet. Cutting the bag and all that's easy. Yes, it's definitely easy. But dealing with the steam and getting it out of the bag and cutting and
And the
hoping you don't
clumps.
spill, it's just not my thing. You know what? I'll give a half point to extract on this one instead of a full. So we'll go 3.5 to 1. Also, too, what we didn't mention earlier is we only have 2.5 gallons of water. In case you were wondering, we will get the full 5.5 gallons once we get to
The fermenter.
the fermentation tank.
Yeah.
So basically, you break down your DME in 2.5 gallons. When you bring it over to the fermentation tank, you add the other 3 gallons, which gets you your 5.5. So we're gonna let this come back to a boil, and then we're gonna drop these hops in, which will officially get us back even with this one. So you know what? Y'all have seen hops drop enough. We're not gonna film that part. But when we come back, our next drop will be the 15-minute DME.
The 15-minute on the extract.
On the extract.
15-minute DME, and then with 5 minutes left, we'll do the coriander and orange peel.
which will be on both of them.
Yes.
So the next stop you see will be extract and not all grain, and then we'll flip back to all grain after that.
Yes, sir. So on the all grain side, we're down to the last 5 minutes of the boil.
Wait a minute. Why did I get the crappy extract and you got the all grain?
You
We're
know,
gonna talk about that later.
hey,
I mean,
That's-
you are the head brewer today. So.
that's for HR to decide. I'm sorry.
No, you're the head
So-
brewer. So
We have an ounce of coriander seed.
I am the
For Mitch.
yes. Ready?
Yeah, I said that.
Ready?
Yes. Oh, hey, good job. And we have an ounce of bitter orange peel that we're going to go ahead and add in there for the last 5 minutes. Oh, you thwacked the pack, huh? So, all right, we're going to let this go for the additional 5 minutes of the boil, and once that's done, the immersion chiller is already in there, and it's being sanitized by the boil, and we'll get this cooling down to pitching temperature so we can go ahead and transfer it over. This has already been filled with water and sanitizer. It's sat for 30 minutes or so, I guess. So it's ready to go. It's ready for us to transfer it over. And we'll bring y'all back and show you the extract side of it.
On to the extract. So now we're on the extract side again. So we're going to go ahead now. We got the 60-minute wheat drop. Now we're 15 minutes left, and we're dropping the Pilsner in.
Dropping the Pilsner and the hops.
And the hops. So here we go.
Oh, so that means paddle, no lid. Oh my, hot boiling lid.
Steam go first. All right. I still rather use grain.
You know, point to the all grain. Correct. Now I will tell y'all that you have to stir well, because I just noticed, and I'm pretty sure Lance just noticed it too, that as soon as this powder hits this boiling water, it turns into little marbles.
It does that.
Yes. I'm going to have to scrub my paddle for weeks. That is hot, sir. You're holding it too close to the water. The wort. The whatever this is.
I say I did a pretty good job on that one. And finally, we have the hops. Right?
Yep. 1 ounce of Saaz.
And kudos to Northern Brewery. They give you the little tears. Makes it really easy.
Oh, so easy.
And here we go.
Send it.
This is going to suck.
It is going to suck. Like bad. But send it. I ain't scared. Okay, I might be scared.
No, it's going to suck because we don't have a filter.
It's fine. Hey, you know what? You're brewing in an apartment, or you're getting started with brewing, and all you have is a big pot and a stove top.
Well, we could have grabbed the spider and moved it over, but it is what it is. It's not that big of a deal. So we got another 5 minutes. We'll be back, and then we're going to drop in the work log. Well, no, we're not going to show you that because we're literally going to do this. Look, here you go. 5 minutes later. And then we'll be back, though, with the coriander and the orange peel.
Yes. All grain, 60 minutes, complete. So now we're going to go ahead and start the immersion chiller on this and get it cooling off down to pitching temperature so we can go ahead and rack it over into the fermenter.
It did blah, blah.
It did blah, blah. Okay. Blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. I do not say blah, blah, blah. So we're going to go ahead and get this cooled down to pitching temperature. I guess next thing they see is back on this side.
Back to extract. On the extract side, 2 beers 1 day. Not a bad. Well, actually, keg of beer. Brew 2 beers in 1 day. Moving along.
We've been busy.
Well, you've been busy. I missed the rack. Know when to get here.
Hey, I got an egg and bacon sandwich. I'm not mad.
There you go. Timer just went off. It is time to drop the
Ounce of coriander and an ounce of orange peel. This is gonna suck to rack over. Yeah, it's really gonna suck to rack over.
All right. So now we got another
5 minutes.
5 minutes. Brew will be done. We'll bring this down in temperature. Rack it over to the fermenter,
The big mouth bubbler.
and it will pitch the yeast. So we will catch y'all once we're racked over. We're gonna go ahead. We just racked this over.
So we're actually once this is finished, we're gonna bring this pot over here so we can take the immersion chiller, drop it in this pot because the immersion chiller fits in this pot also to bring our temperature down, and we'll go from there.
Which I've seen this chill beer, so we won't show all that. Next time we come back, this will all be clean. It will be racked in both beers, and ready to pitch yeast.
Adding that 3.5 gallons
of
cold filtered water to it.
over. So if we're still rating, I don't know. I give all grain the win on this.
Yeah.
So I say 3 to
32.
2.5.
2.5. Yeah. 3 to 2.5.
Because messing with this
Sticky.
powdery, not my thing. Sorry, not. I understand the need and places where you can't have a
Oh, absolutely,
homebrew kit.
absolutely.
And look, we may be wrong. We taste the beer. Maybe it ends up being better.
I am both excited and scared on that beer tasting.
Same here. Same here. So we'll see y'all back here in a bit once we're cleaned up and pitching yeast.
Yes, sir. And brew day done. So we currently have the all grain racked over into my 9-gallon stainless steel fermenter. Glycol is off. I use the glycol to get it down to pitching temperature, but it's off. So, and we just pitched the yeast, but we took a gravity reading before we pitched it, and the gravity came out to 1042. We missed the numbers just a little bit. 1049 is where we should have been. But 1042, I still think it's in that acceptable range.
Yeah, and we, no, that would have hurt us. That would have helped us, not hurt us. We did have a little bit of an aggressive ball on this one.
But that should have increased.
Yeah, it should have increased, not decreased. I don't think we lost as much as we thought. I mean, it was aggressive, but it wasn't enough to knock us down enough. So
Right.
Either way, it's in the fermentation tank. Like he said, we're using an environment to ferment temperature-wise. We're not going to temperature control it.
Try to keep these as equal as possible.
So,
And now, ambient air temperature in the Boys Club is typically 70, 72 degrees. This yeast is good up to 79. So hopefully the Saf Ale will.
what's the recommended temperature they actually?
It's 64 to 79.
No, but what did they tell you to on the sheet?
Oh.
Or recommend, I'm sorry.
It doesn't say. Just per yeast.
Per use. Okay.
Yeah, so, and we were using the Saf Ale BW20, so 64 to 79.
Okay.
So I guess anywhere within that range is acceptable for this.
Most Belgian wits are normally in the high 60s, low 70s.
That's what I was about to say, yeah, low 70s.
You'll be right in. We'll be right in that criteria with his ambient temperature in here, and he holds temperature in here pretty good. So it's not like it's going to fluctuate a lot in here. It'd be the same as a home brewer in a apartment putting a carboy in a closet.
Yep.
And letting it go. So, well, cheers to the all grain.
Cheers to the all grain.
We'll go ahead and give you a snapshot of this one here with 1042 with the extract on the side once we get it.
Right.
You'll see it on the second part of extracting, brewing with extract, sorry.
Right.
But you'll see the two. We just didn't want to, give you one without the other.
Right.
We will be back here shortly with the extract.
Yep.
All right, on to the all. Goddamn, I keep wanting to say all. Back to the extract brew. So we've been keeping score, obviously with everything as we moved along. Numbers here with the extract, 1046. So we technically got 4 points better on the extract than we did the all grain. It is what it is. It happens. I would like to do that multiple times. So like to me, a one round base isn't a true base. To me, you need to do a minimal 5 to see what happens there. Now look, in all fairness, we're trying to protect all grain. But in this case, extract won. It is what it is.
It's closer to what the original gravity should have been. The projected original gravity should have been.
So right now, you should see both. I'll have them somewhere right here, maybe here with the two colors so you can see. No, we're not going to pour it in the glass. They won't see that, so we're good. But you'll be able to see them in the tube and the color-wise. You'll be able to see from here. And so now we're going to actually tally up the points. So we were at 3 to 2.5.
3 to 2.5.
With the last score. So I'll say this. Racking over was some of our fault because of the pot that we used, and we didn't use a spider. But racking the beer over into the fermentation tank was way harder on the extract, and I don't think it had anything to do with the extract. It's just
It was a nightmare.
It was a nightmare. But we were trying to mimic a person in a stove with a regular pot with no equipment doing an extract brew, which in most cases people would have. Now, in all fairness, I will say that people will buy a homebrew kit that comes with the bucket to ferment that has the siphon in it. But you're still going to fight the hops, not having a filter or a spider to do the extract. So I would recommend
a spider
for
Absolutely.
your house to be able to do it, which I'm not a fan of a spider, but in this case, not having the filter of the pump and everything would do it. So I don't know that we can knock the extract because of the hop situation on a thing, So I'm gonna call that a tie
Okay.
of racking over. So we're still 3 to 2.5. Color wise, technically we're probably a little bit darker because we brought a little bit more hops over than we should have. So we'll call that a tie. We'll call it a wash. I actually really do believe our color is actually pretty close. And I think the end game, once we cold crash both of them, I think we're going to be pretty close. And you can see it over here. It looks dark in the fermentation tank, but that's just because it's really thick.
Yeah, I mean this is the same beer that came out of there, right?
So you can see it there. And you can already see the hops settling down at the
Yeah,
bottom.
there's already a cake of hops down here.
Yeah. So we are going to wrap this with a blanket just to keep it light from hitting it and to help insulate it a little bit for temperature. So I guess as of right now, I have the extract paper. I am going to put a 3 because we were at a 3. You, sir, want to write your 2.5. So technically the extract in process is up by 0.5 point right now. Now we still have head retention, taste, and color once we actually pour the beer
In the glass.
in the glass once the beers are done. And we'll see how we're rating. If you guys, well, it'll be too late. We'll do it all together. But we'll think of other things we can rate it on once we pour it that are fair comparisons between an extract and a all grain. So we really want to thank Northern Brewery for them sending you the kit. He actually buys the subscription every month.
Right.
They just so happen to give him the extract kit with the all grain. Other than that, he is paying for the kit. So this wasn't free. It's not sponsored by them in any way. But he also got a couple of new goods that you want to bring in.
Northern Brewer has been hooking us up lately. And I don't know if it's because they watch our videos or if they're just taking care of good, loyal customers. But I wanted to give them a shout out. I'll be right back.
And I'm going to go along the lines of just because interactions he's had with chats and everything with them, I think they just take care of you.
They are amazing.
Yeah,
They are amazing.
I don't think we're a big enough channel for them to be giving us
No,
stuff right
I
now.
don't
really
think so.
Shout out to them if they are. We appreciate it. But I really think anybody getting the subscription for Northern Brewer would be getting this. And we've said it multiple times. We don't get paid for this. We highly recommend
We do.
people getting the subscription.
We do, especially if you're just getting into brewing.
Why are you just doing it for a while?
If you've been doing it for a while and you just want that beer that you've maybe never thought about brewing before, which they've caused us to do that quite a few times now.
100%.
But on a shipment that I just got, we haven't brewed the beer for yet. It's actually sitting in the icebox getting ready to go. They sent me a Hop Spider. And I will tell you now that this Hop Spider, I have another one identical to it that does not have this on it. And y'all have seen us take the Hop Spiders out of the all-in-one, burning our fingers, holding out yards. This is an amazing Hop Spider. It won't work for the all-in-one, but it will work on Hummer out there. So
10-gallon system, which could be a 5-gallon as well.
right. So I appreciate Northern Brewer for sending this. It's good quality. The welds are real clean. It's stainless steel, so it's not going to rust on us. It's that really fine micron meshing on it. I think it's going to work really well. And another thing that they said, which was kind of weird but kind of awesome, Swag Brewery Hoppy IPA Beer Soap.
Which is the coolest thing ever. He just opened it and let me smell it. It's IPA on your hands.
It's literally
I hate
IPA on your hands. And it's kind of one of those, do I leave it in the brewery as a hand soap or do I bring it in my bathroom and use it as a shower? I think my wife's over there looking at me like I'm going to be showering with this. So, but look, Northern Brewer, we appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all hooking us up. We appreciate the good things y'all are doing with these beer kits. I don't think we've had a bad one yet.
No.
So,
I don't think so either. We've been really happy with everything we brewed.
absolutely.
So all our yeast is pitched. Oof.
We've been at it for a while, but I will say the time it took us to brew both beers.
Well, I'm looking at it now. It's 4 hours, which on the 10-gallon system is about a 4-hour process for 10 gallons.
Yeah, for one beer.
Which we've done 10 gallons here. And on our barrel system, we look at about 5.5,
5.5 to 6 hours. Yep.
So I honestly, hey, it's been a long day. It has, but it's been a great day. Like we've actually got 10 gallons of beer laid out. I can't wait to do the results.
Absolutely. So next time y'all see this, we'll be doing a blind tasting. It's going to be interesting.
Times 4.
Come on, all grain. Got a half a point to catch up on here.
So hey, Y'all know the speech. If you don't mind, hit the little like down below. Hit the little bell for notifications so you know we hit the video. And
Ding, ding.
get that little bell. Ding, ding. Catch y'all on the next one.
All right, y'all.
All right, here we go. So we brewed our beers. We've had a little bit of time from the ferment. Brandon will break down here in a second what we did for fermentation. I feel like this is a really cool little experiment we're doing here.
It is very interesting experiment. Taking the exact same whole garden beer, which is it's kind of like a Belgian wit. It had the coriander and stuff in it. And being able to do one all extract and do one all grain was interesting. And it's going to be interesting to see what the results are between the two of them. Neither one of us have any idea which one is which. It's totally blind, and we'll be able to stare and compare and see what's what.
So just so y'all know what we did here. Brandon poured them into the bottles and labeled them A and B. I don't know which one was A or B. He gave me the bottles. I poured and mixed the glasses up. He doesn't know which one's A, which one's B.
Not a clue.
So we're going to do two different things here. The fermentation, everything was done the same. The only thing, just so we're fair and we know what's going on, is one was fermented in a stainless steel tank.
Yes.
With no temperature control.
No glycol control at all. At room temperature.
The other one was in a plastic jar.
Yeah, in the Firmzilla.
In the Firmzilla, which is a fermentation vessel.
Right.
That we wrapped in a blanket to keep light out.
Right.
So both of them were kept from light.
Insulated.
But
at room temperature.
Room temperature with nothing controlling temperature.
Now, it was a climate-controlled room that's normally at 70 to 71 degrees, which is actually perfect for the yeast that we did on these beers with fermentation. And then once we got down to our final gravities, which our gravities on these two beers ended up really interesting. On the all grain, we ended up finishing at 1.009. On the all extract, we finished at 1.007. So it actually fermented down a little quicker than the all grain did, and then they both leveled off at that point.
If I remember right, sorry. The original gravity, our final gravity was supposed to be 1.007, right?
Yes, 07.
So the all extract actually hit it, the all grain missed by 2.
Hit the all grain missed by 2.
And do you remember our numbers for the original gravity?
Starting gravity? I don't remember the starting gravity off the top of my head, and I'm sure we've already said it in the video.
I'll post it here.
But cold crash wise, it was pretty simple. I turned the glycol system back on for the cold crash on the all grain in my stainless steel fermenter. Cold crashed it down. It got down to about 39 degrees. And then with the all extract, I took the entire fermenter and I stuck it down inside of our big storage keezer to cold crash it there. They both cold crashed for 3 days, and I kegged both of them.
You went into the same kegerator.
Same kegerator.
Same CO2
bottle. Same CO2 bottle. Same style kegs. I mean, I'll try to keep everything as equal as possible on these. So, yeah, I'm interested. I mean, it's the first time we're seeing the colors on them, and you can see their effervescence on them, and so on the color's pretty close.
Trying to hit it in the light. Yeah, push it up in the light there. So, I mean, on first take, I can see this one's lighter than this one.
Yeah, this one is definitely darker.
Which, I hate to say, I mean, already right now, just off of color, I've brewed long enough to know, I can tell right now which one's which. I'll be honest with you.
I believe I know as well.
I'll keep my comments for now.
I will too, because I also want to taste them. I want to see what they taste like, because we might taste it and be like, okay, maybe not. Or okay, one's darker than the other, but they taste exactly the same. So, are we each going to go with a separate one and trade? How are we going to do this?
Yeah, we'll start. Okay. We'll both get our nose. I say we both get our nose, rotate for nose, and then we'll both taste and rotate.
Okay. Okay.
And I'm getting a lot of fruit off of this.
Okay, you too.
What was the name of this beer again?
It's the Hoegaarden. It's a Belgian wheat beer.
Ah, okay, yeah. I mean, fruit just hit me in the face like hard. Like I got straight fruit right away.
On this one, I got coriander and the fruit might be the orange peel, the orange zest.
That's right. I do remember putting that in. Yeah, I remember that now.
Oh wow. Okay. I find, okay, so the nose is definitely different between the two of them. This one right here, I get more coriander up front. That one right there, I get more orange up front.
I agree.
And they both have the exact same amount of coriander and the exact same amount of orange peel in them.
Yes.
So,
And from what I got was I started off fruity. I didn't really get too much coriander out of this one. I got just fruit, just popping me the
Right.
citrus. This one here, I 100% agree. I got coriander to start. What was weird though is whenever I pulled away, I caught the fruit at the end.
on the back end.
On the back
okay.
end, on a aroma.
Okay, we're going to go for a taste.
Cheers.
Okay. Okay, I think my mind's basically made up on which one's which, but okay, that's
Oh wow. I mean, that's insane.
what.
And I'm just moving them back just so I know which one's which in my head because I'm the one in charge of the letter. So
Okay.
just FYI.
So this is what I will say. This was more coriander up front, orange peel in the back. On the mouth, this is more orange peel up front, coriander in the back for me. The mouth feel on this is heavier to me. And I could be totally off on that, but that's just what I'm getting. Because when I switched over and did that one, it felt like a lighter bodied beer with more coriander on the mouth than the smell says it should have.
So I understand what you're saying now because I drank them in your order, which this is.
And it might have been this one washing this one out and
Yes,
this one
so-
washing this one out. So I need to go opposite on it.
All right. So because what I got was I got straight coriander, almost hoppiness, a lot more hops on this side, which the hops were real floral. Whereas this I got nothing but citrus, and the coriander was definitely a lot more noticeable on the palate than on the nose for sure. But when I drank this one
might
first,
be the hops that I'm getting off of this that threw me off and made me think it was coriander I was tasting. Because now that I've gone this way, I taste the hop.
you
in
taste
this
hop
one.
here and a lot more
Yeah.
fruitiness here.
And it was definitely a floral hop that we put in this. So that would be where that flower or that herb taste is coming from. Okay. I mean, are either one a bad beer for you?
No, absolutely not. I 100% could tell a difference between the two. Whether or not I'm right on which one's which, I'm not sure.
Absolutely.
But I can for sure say right now, with the amount of experience I have with drinking beer, whether it be high or low, that's my opinion and no one else's, is I taste the difference between what we call an extract beer and an all grain. The body is a lot fuller here to me than here. I'm getting more hops and different flavors on this one than this one. And the beer feels a lot more complex to this one. There's a lot more stages to this one.
I will agree. And I think I will call it exactly like you called it, that this is the extract and this is the all grain.
Yeah. Technically, I didn't say it, but yes, you were reading my what I was saying.
Yes.
So yeah. Yeah. So I feel this is the all grain right here,
Okay.
and this is the extract. I feel like things are just simpler here. It just doesn't feel like a full bodied beer.
Okay.
So now
So we both agree on that.
we both picking the same one.
All right. Which one is A? Which one is B?
So this one was A.
Yes, it's all grain.
That's
And
grain.
that's- and
that
that's-
was okay.
all
So
extract.
there you go.
So while we can discern the difference between the two of them, I will tell you that at any point in time, if I'm served either one of these, I'm not mad about it.
Right.
I'm not mad about it. They're both really good beers. It's just personally, I think all grain wins in this head-to-head.
Yes, I do too. In this beer, at least, different styles may do different things.
Absolutely. You go to a dark beer where it hides more of the misses or the off flavors on it, a dark, like a porter or something like that, you may not be able to tell the difference at all.
You may not. And honestly, if you're getting introduced to homebrew and you want to try it, I'll tell you right now, go out and brew a dark beer, a porter, a stout. They're way harder to mess up.
Yes.
So, of course, what Brandon just said makes 100% sense is even if you do an extract there, it's just the body of a stout or porter is just so It's different that it hides any kind of miscues.
Yeah, it kind of miscues. Which, not that we had any miscues on the extract.
No,
it's just 100% when your palate is accustomed to the complexities of an all grain, to the way the hop should be blending with the beer. It is a noticeable difference between the two of them for us.
Yes.
Now, again, we serve these two beers to people that just drink occasionally or, don't homebrew or nothing like that. I don't know if there would be a discernible difference between the two of them to know that they're different beers. Even though it's the same, they're different beers.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, I would compare it to, I'm a wine drinker. I occasionally drink wine. But I would put money on that I couldn't differentiate between a good wine and a really, really expensive wine. I'm not going to go as far as a cheap wine to an expensive because I can't. I do have some wines back here.
Between Caymus and Barefoot. Let's go.
Well, Caymus and Bonanza. They're actually from the same winery.
Distillery. Yep.
Everything. It's the same batch. Everything's the same. It's just one's, I think, fermented a little or barreled a little longer than the other. And I could tell the difference between the two. But now when I get into two high ends, a really high end to a just average wine, I feel like my mouth doesn't notice the body difference. And that's what I taste here. Not that either one's different. Maybe something happened in our fermentation. Maybe the blanket made it cooler or hotter in one or the other, which makes the hops come out a little bit more. That's why fermentation is so important when you're brewing beer.
Yep.
And I think that's why extract is not a bad idea, because it doesn't matter what you do on that part. It really doesn't. The extract actually did better with numbers than our all grain did. And that's part of doing all grain. That's the part of being a good brewer, is meeting the numbers you're supposed to with the grain.
Yep.
Yeast and temperature with yeast is a very, very important. Whereas your mash temperature is important too. Don't get me wrong, but we did it all in one. Everything was controlled.
Yep.
Everything was controlled. We didn't have to.
And they were literally both done in the exact same all in one, back to back with each other.
Back to back, same day, everything.
That was a fun brew day.
It was. I will say though that the body comes through a lot more in all grain than the extract. So,
yep.
There you go. We'll be right back. We'll show you all something else that we have. It's not we've been working on for a while.
We're working on for quite a while.
We've always done it, but just another little surprise, little kind of twist here.
Yep. Stick around. Be right back.
All right. So here you go. We're back. So excuse the different types of glasses. Unfortunately, we have too many beers and not enough of the same glass. But we just wanted to kind of show you guys the benefit, we'll call it, of homebrew.
Absolutely.
So, we have little parties here where we invite people over, and not every one person likes a certain beer, and technically we're not a bar, so there's only so much we can do. Not a bar.
Right.
Times two whenever you put his house, which makes it worse. So we'll try to break some of these down for you, and we'll try to remember basics for the most part what these are. So we'll start over here, and we're going to try to drink along with these with y'all, even though Brandon doesn't like the first one. So this is our seltzer.
I like the first one. What are you talking about? Oh.
This is the seltzer. This is the lightest of ours. You can tell it's crystal clear. Can't get any clearer than that. It is a watermelon. No, blueberry. Blueberry seltzer.
Blueberry seltzer.
Holding up pretty good with carbonation, but here we go.
And the thing is, they've literally seen all of these beers getting made.
Yep, every single one of them have been posted already. So that's the blueberry seltzer. The women go crazy over it. I don't know why. We even have a couple guys that like it. Next in line, we have something a little different. This is technically not technically. It is not a beer.
Nope, it's not a beer.
It is our own little concoction that we decided to put on tap because, again, party, people like to drink. Can't sit behind the bar all day and mix. So we made a
Duckarita, we call it.
A Duckarita, which is technically called a
Socorita.
Socorita, which is tequila, margarita mix.
Margarita mix.
Instead of tequila, you use Southern Comfort bourbon.
Right.
And then we decided, hey, let's carbonate it.
And we carbonated it and put it on tap.
When I tell you,
I am very surprised that we still had some of this to show y'all.
When I tell you, make this 100% if you got the room, even if you don't make it on tap, make it. When I say it's a Skittle in your mouth, it's like you grabbed a handful of Skittles all mixed and you drop them and you get all the fruit.
It's so good. Shout out to SoCo for making sweeter bourbon that works so well with that. And
Right.
once we found the proper margarita mix that we really, really liked, it was like, yeah, we're buying it in bulk so we can fill up a 5-gallon keg.
You're supposed to tell them we made our mix.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
We don't.
Squeeze limes. I stepped on them. Oh, no, that's wine.
So recently, and I have a feeling this one will get tapped right here. We didn't film this one. We recently brewed this beer. Well, it'll be almost 3 weeks now ago.
Yeah. It's not quite ready yet, but
It's really not quite ready yet. This is our Duck in the Pond. Y'all have already seen us brew it, so we didn't show it again. But it's one of our favorites.
it's a staple.
Yeah, we gotta have it.
It is a beer that stays on. Like we get down to 2 kegs left, it's time to brew some more Duck in the Pond.
We pretty much have 2 beers that we try to keep on tap. It's pretty much Duck in the Pond and a certain style of the porter that Brandon made. We may take that porter and do different things with it, which is on the end over there. We'll get to in a bit. But
at the end of the day, the base recipe is the porter.
And we pretty much, those 2 beers are always on tap.
Yep.
He's looking at me like, stop talking and drink.
Right? Especially with holding that one in your hand. And for if y'all don't remember, and I don't even know if you said that, Duck in the Pond is our double hazy IPA.
Double hazy IPA. So we did a blueberry salsa, quackerita, and now a
Double hazy
IPA. The next one in line, we moved around a little bit. Which one was this? This was one of them.
It's one of those?
Yes.
Okay, so that is Legend of Lutra.
Okay, this is a what?
It's a standard ale that is just highlighting the Lutra-Kvike yeast, something that can be fermented at room temperature, and it's letting the yeast and the Galaxy hops come through on the beer.
That is definitely different.
It is different.
I'm getting really sweet on it as well.
No, that is not Legend of Lutra.
That almost tasted like
that's Cosmic Trident.
Is it? Or that almost tasted like the black cherry.
Oh, wait, we might have mixed some things up because that is definitely one of the.
It tastes like it's either. Try it again. I think that was the black cherry.
Yes, that is the black cherry.
Okay.
That's the black cherry.
Sorry, we mixed the order up.
Oh,
you can smell it now.
Okay, so does that mean that these 2 right here are the other 2 flavored ones?
I think this is the next flavor. Let me taste it first, and I'll tell you what it is. Yes, this is the mango habanero. That is so. The beer we just had, the black cherry.
Smell it right off the jump.
The black cherry and the mango habanero are the brew that we made. It was 6 beers in one.
Mm-hmm.
So we're still kind of drinking on them. Now, that's the thing about flavored beers is you got to watch is on flavored beers, it's not something you can sit there and pound 6, 7, 8 of them. Most of the time, people drink 1 or 2, then they move on to the next beer. So it is what it is. They're great beers. They're flavored. It gives you an option to have stuff on tap. That is definitely the watermelon.
That would be the watermelon. That's why I smelled it. I'm like, okay, that's the watermelon.
These 3 are 3 of the 6 that came to my house from that 6 ways to brew. 1 beer, 6 beers. 1 brew, 6 beers.
Right. And unfortunately, the other 3 already tapped at the house. 1 was unflavored.
Which was our pale ale.
Yes, which is the standard pale ale. 1 was pineapple. And the other was Black Karat. And the Black Karat was legitimately the first one to tap, which is the one that we thought no one would drink. And they all smashed it.
Okay, so that's one of the 2 right there for sure.
This is Legend of Lutra.
Okay. That is a lot more mild than the black cherry.
Absolutely. The thing I liked about Legend of Lutra, Lutra-Kvike yeast is one of those yeasts that's very aggressive. It'll get through your fermentation quickly. It cleans the beer out really, really, really quickly, and it leaves you with a very, that's pretty clear beer. And at the end of the day, when you think about a beer that's just poured in and you could just smash it on a hot day, that's what if you think about what a beer tastes like, when people say, oh, it tastes like beer, that's the flavor of that one. It's a really good beer, though. I liked it.
Yeah, it almost reminded me. Not flavor-wise, don't get this the wrong way. It almost tasted like I think it's called a Brown Castle. Not taste-wise, but smashable. Like a Brown Castle,
Gotcha.
which is a brown ale.
Yes.
You can sit there and just smash the beer because there's no like, it's almost like a light lager. It's not
Right.
really craft beer where all kind of
Right.
flavors are hitting you. Now, it tastes nothing like a Castle
You know, like a brown, yeah.
at all. It's not a brown ale.
A brown Castle Ale. Yeah.
But just the body-wise.
Right.
Like you said, I just finished cutting the grass. I can go
I
kill
come
it.
in and smash it. Yep.
Okay, that's got to be this.
Another very pretty beer.
That's got to be the other one. What was the second one that you brought over? Or is that the
No,
one that we
this is the all grain. This is the all grain that we just did on the side by sides. I'm like, wow, that's really clean. But I catch coriander in the back. Well, I'm like, oh wait, yeah. So this is the whole garden
Yeah, so
Belgian wheat beer.
I definitely got the fruit. I didn't get the coriander at that time, but it may be because of the 8 before that one. Your palate starts to kind of blend here. And excuse some of the ones that you don't see heads on. Like obviously this won't have a head. It's a margarita. This is a seltzer. I don't think they ever show head. Some of these are kind of lacing a little bit. Some of them aren't. Some of these were put in a bottle brought from his house,
Right.
which is unfair for the beer. You lose a little bit of
Lost
carbonation.
carbonation. Right.
Coming from a keg to a bottle / bottle, sitting in your truck to coming into a glass. And on top of that, we just poured 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 beers. So the head's just not going to stay. So this is the...
That should be the all extract.
Okay. Yes, okay. I got it now. So I taste it. You know, after following up after all of these and you taste it, and I know it's a Belgian. I get it. But it makes me think of a wit now. Hefeweizen. I get that.
There is okay, I get that. There is that ester that the Hefeweizen yeast gives. It does kind of throw that.
I'm getting, especially on the extract one.
Wow. Yeah, especially on the extract one. That aftertaste that it leaves in your mouth.
I didn't get it here. I get more of I'll go closer to a Blue Moon, even though it doesn't taste like a Blue Moon. Just that Blue Moon kind of citrus kind of
Right.
flavor you get, especially when you put the little orange in it and stuff. Whereas this one comes out more of a heavier weeded / like a Hefeweizen.
Now, this one here is one of Lori's favorites that we've done from Northern Brewer. It's Cosmic Trident. It's using two yeasts. Using a yeast that I've never had before with the Cosmic yeast. I'm sorry, with the Trident yeast and the Cosmic hops in it. I liked it. Whenever I had Lori's, I had to hurry up and get some off of her before she killed the keg.
I can tell you too that again, I'm not trying to claim my palate is any better than anybody else's, but from my years of drinking, I can tell that's a yeast and hop I've never had before.
Yeah.
I've never had that flavor.
And the thing is, I was worried when I brewed that beer that it was going to have some hop creep to it because of the amount of dry hop. I don't remember if it was a 2-stage dry hop or a 3-stage dry hop, but that beer had a lot of hops in it. But then when I went back and I looked at the alpha acids on the hops, it wasn't that high. And I was like, okay, so we're just adding a little bit of flavor, a little bit of flavor, a little bit of flavor. And I don't find it has any hop creep at all. Now, it does. Your tongue says, hey, there's hops in this beer.
I mean, look, I understand. It definitely isn't slapping me with hops.
No.
I feel like our double hazy IPA is hoppier.
Right.
But it's just a more complex hop. There's different hops hitting me in the tongue.
You get on this one. I get that pine tree, but I also get that grapefruit, and there's a little sweetness in it. Right. Look, like I said, we brewed it, and Lori tried it, and she's like, "Oh my God!" She just kept drinking it. I'm like, "You're gonna drink all of it? Stop!"
Great beer, nothing wrong with it. Great beer.
So that's definitely one I think that will go into rotation. Maybe we'll end up doing a 12-gallon batch of that one.
Yeah. This is another one that's I guess you can call it a third of our staple.
It's a staple. Yep.
This is the Honey Amber. This beer right here, we recently had a guy in the comments to the brew of this beer asked for the full recipe because it was hard to follow with Brandon whenever he was speaking out. Not that Brandon was talking bad or nothing. It's just hard. I get it because I've done other things trying to write down why they're saying what they're doing, and he couldn't get it. So I gave him the recipe on there. I hope the brew goes well for you. I really hope you come back to the chat and tell us if it came out good for you. Now, obviously, it's still going to taste different from ours.
Yeah.
Because it's different water. Water's 90% of beer. It's always going to be different. But cheers to you. I hope you have a great one.
Absolutely.
This beer right here is always asked by a lot of people as well.
Yep. And for Ugly Duckling, this is an award-winning beer.
Yes. Yes. We have something here in the Gulf of Louisiana. It's called Gulf Brew, actually. And it's where mostly your distributors come out and put beers out, and you pay a fee to get in. It's called like Top of the Hops is a nationwide festival. Well, here they let home brewers go and put beer in. And this was 15 years ago. We put this beer out. And it was the first beer to tap at Gulf Brew, which is something that I'm highly, highly proud of as Ugly Duckling to have something, to be a part of that. Like, that's something Ugly Duckling no one can ever take away from. We brewed a beer that was tapped first out of commercial beers.
Yeah, commercial beers.
And 5 of the home brew clubs that were out there. Just amazing. So here it goes to the last one. And again, this is the other staple. This is the porter that I was talking about. This is, this is Brandon's original recipe of the porter that he's taken. And then, like we said earlier, we've done things to it. Like in this case, we put bourbon in it.
Yeah, there's a vanilla bourbon porter on this. For this one.
We've also done where like he has is Witch's Brew based off of it?
Witch's Brew is based off of that, which is a coffee milk porter.
Okay.
And then we also have our vanilla macchiato, which had the coffee and the French French vanilla in it. But the porter itself is a beautiful base beer that we've been and at the end of the day, we'll just brew a straight porter and enjoy it too. So
we've brewed it plain and drank it, and then because the base is good, we've taken it and made other things out of it. It's crazy. It's right before we got to my nose, the amount of coffee that hit me right before I took a sip. Like I already knew it hit me.
God, it's such a good beer.
So it's one of those, like it's just a great bodied beer. We do the same thing with our pale ale. We took the pale ale, like we said, we make 3 beers. It's another one. Like to me, these two are our 2 biggest base beers that we have right there. I mean, we're proud of them. We think they're great beers. Now again, well, that one, yeah, okay, we can put them 3 then, and then we follow up with probably the pale ale slightly back and behind just as a base. But yeah, you can call these 3 our staple beers here. And we actually have other beers that we're very proud of, but when we call staple, everybody has a brewery that has that one beer that's like, wow. Gnarly Barley is Juicifer.
And let's be honest, if we're talking about beers that we brew often that tap quickly, one that was a big surprise to us is when we did Redheaded Lass, our Irish Red. That's another beer that we'll brew it, and it taps before it ages properly.
Yeah. Which becomes part. This is why I'm shocked we have this.
Yeah.
This never happens. And honestly,
and again, this is a combination of here and my house bringing beers over. So,
and on top of that, though, we've had a really bad month. I'm sure if you guys do happen to follow us right now, you've noticed we had a big pause before we recently started putting stuff out again. We had issues. There was things going on in life that just didn't allow us to do things. So obviously, if we're not brewing, that means we were doing things we weren't drinking. So we had beers at his house and mine that we get to enjoy now together, which is amazing.
And we're starting to get into the holidays. We've kicked back up with our brewing schedule again. And
in fact, we have this video that y'all are going to see plus 6 that are in queue. 6
videos in queue, y'all. So no more long wait times between brewing for y'all.
So want to go ahead and wrap this video up. Listen, we appreciate everybody that follows us. Every day I jump on, and every morning when I go to work, because I work on a computer, I look at our homepage and I see, we go up a subscriber. It warms my heart for that day. That makes my day a beautiful day.
Absolutely.
So, hey, we love every one of y'all. We're glad you guys do it and stick around with us. We currently, right now, this video is at 193. We got a new one today. I don't know if you saw it.
Awesome.
Look, if y'all don't mind, hit that like, subscribe button at the bottom. It helps us out a lot, man. It makes it
ring that bell notification too.
Ding, ding. We'll catch you guys on the next one.
Appreciate it. We're going to go finish enjoying these beers.
Play a little bit of golf.
Yes.
More to come. We'll show you all that next.